I wonder, are we doing magic? We are. Magic is working. Fantastic. This is news. This is much better than before. Fantastic. Okay. Is that all set up? I believe so. I believe so. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are watching afterwards, that is, of course, because I imagine that no one's going to expect this. We haven't done this in a long time. So, missed you guys. Hi, welcome. Today we are going to do stream. I need to check the audio actually. We are going to be, let me put that back on the screen. We're going to be doing some figures today. Figures for Wave 8 or Wave Tears of the Kingdom of the custom set showcase, depending on what you want to call it. We're going to be drawing. Haven't done one of these in a long time. Usually we do them for the castle because building the castle on my own kind of sucks sometimes. But for now, we're going to be doing it for figures instead. So, good, there's a thumbnail, which is fantastic. And audio sounds okay. I already see a message. Hello, Hylian. Yeah, Roro for now, but Roro is already done. Now that I've set myself up, I am going to start. Perfect. So the first one for today, I want to do the glide suit because I really like the outfit and I don't just want to trace yet. So I am going to go into my file and you'll get to see a little bit of my process and maybe I'll do some teasing or something. But I have a template for us to use. Just loading that in now. There we go. We're going to use the bat wings actually. I decided this morning that I didn't want to give him normal arms, which that's going to limit our detail that we can add to this guy. But I think this is the best way to do him. You can make him a little bit bigger, and you'll notice it looks blurry, but that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect quality. I just need him to be proportioned correctly. Perfect. So obviously, the ability of streaming means that not only can I get things done, which I desperately need to do, I need to chat with you guys because Tears is amazing and I have so many thoughts and there's Lego stuff going on as well, and just in general it's fun to have a soapbox. The vampire wings are a good solution, Highly. I like the way that they look like the wingsuit being open. It's also rare to get to do a figure in Zelda that doesn't just have normal arms. I might do one later. I'm just going to do the Bosbo Coblin today potentially as well. If not, I'll do him tomorrow, but I may stream actual building tomorrow because tomorrow is a fun one because I will be doing the Ultra Hand custom set that we're going to be doing. So basically I have to work out Lego designs for all 20-30 of the Zono devices in Tears, so that's going to be really interesting. Some of them are going to look really, really scuffed. With the vampire wings as well, they do look like fabric, or at least they do to me. I was a bit unsure about the positioning because he's kind of has to be falling, so I can imagine these would absolutely suck to have weapons in, but I've just decided that this is a display link, and if you really want to have another link that does this, well, you just can't use the glide suit, which is a little bit of a shame because it's my favourite outfit in the game that isn't the Champion's Leathers or Archaic Tunic. I don't count those because they're a little too iconic for my taste here. Oh good, I have not forgotten to put my outline on an extra layer, which is what usually happens when I draw. I've never drawn with this piece before. It's going to be something a little bit different. Does mean no printing, as I said down here. We can only do a little bit on the arms, and even then I don't think they've ever printed on the arm wings. If anyone knows otherwise, of course let me know, but I don't think they've ever done anything with those arms before. So either live or post this should be just a nice little resource to listen to in the background. Potentially of whatever you're doing, or just I ramble and no one watches, which is also perfectly fine because realistically this is more a chance for me. Now I could start with Tears, but I'm going to start with Lego because that is my original, my main love. No, I don't know anymore. They've become so blurred, so intertwined. It's Lego and Zelda, really. It always has been. They reveal the first Christmas sets have finally been revealed. I say finally as if it isn't August 2nd, and Christmas isn't still like 7 months away. But always these interest me. I'm particularly always interested in the big one. I haven't loved one since Gingerbread House, although Main Street was fantastic last year. But it's the small ones that have been revealed, and these are usually the ones that I guarantee pick up because they're usually super cool. I'm struggling in this instant to remember exact. Oh yeah, last year was a giant Christmas tree that gave us the Zelda hearts in red for the first time, which was really exciting. But that was exciting from a different perspective. This year we have gingerbread people again as ornaments. I had a lot of hope for this idea when it was leaked, and I'm still pleased with them. Naturally, they're a little jankier than expected, but it's whatever. I'll still buy them. I don't love the customization they've done. I think I'll be keeping mine a lot simpler, but it is still a really sweet, pun intended, set that I'm really looking forward to. Actually, I think it's going to be a good, a popular one. The Nutcracker, I'm less keen on. I just don't think it's as solid as the one from a couple of years ago. It's just too busy. The design just doesn't pull it off for me. The other one felt very classical, was in very much like a Nutcracker, and it kept it very simple, very goofy, very Lego-esque. I should clarify that these are not the colours that I'm going to be using on this design. But Octane, why do you like the wingsuit so much? As I continue to jump everywhere, it's just cool. It's a nice fantasy take on like the flying squirrel suits that we have them in real life too. I just think the colours are really nice, and the way it fits as well. It's not often that I'll compliment the way an outfit actually like sort of sits on Link, but I think it works really well. Yeah. And the colours. You can dye it, but I've always had a mixed relationship with dyeing in both Breath of the Wild and Tears. I just don't like doing it because it feels wrong. The only armor set that I've dyed in Breath of the Wild was the Hylian hood to light azure, like a light bluish colour, and that was purely personal preference. I didn't do it in Tears because I really like how it pairs with the Champion's leathers, a lot better than it paired with the Champion's tunic, that's for sure. But the only set that I actually have dyed, oh, and I believe I dyed the Firebreakers orange as well. I still haven't bought the rest of the Firebreakers set in Tears yet. I need to do that. So much to do in Tears. I'll come back to that later. But the only set I have dyed, as I've been trying to say now for like 2.5 minutes, is the Froggy armor. I dyed it green, like a green frog. Not because I don't like the blue, and I think the blue is still the best one, but I thought it looked pretty refreshing in green. I keep getting confused every time I put it on, and it's not the blue one though, because I'm like, what is this? Yeah, but I really like how it looks green. I have a question, if anybody's in the chat. Hello, am I man? And that is a flag that I don't recognise. Yeah, we are live. A question for anybody that's here or afterwards in the comments. What paraglider fabric are you guys using? I found this an interesting question because it doesn't seem to be... Obviously there's no buffs, right? So no one specifically has a favourite, like a favourite, like optimised wise. It's not like certain armour sets are better. Marshall Islands. So which paraglider fabric is the one of choice for you guys? I've been switching between the Royal Guards fabric because I really like that colour scheme, and the Sword Spirit because I have the Link amiibo. Twilight Mirror is a fantastic choice. Oh, and Marshall Islands. Right, I'm going to test my geography now. I think I know where that is. I've just got to rack my brain now. Marshall Islands is... I feel like it's coast of US somewhere. Or am I getting it confused? Oceania. No. I've messed up. I should have guessed the Pacific Island chain. That would have made more sense. Now, which one is it closer to? Ugh, Google's not loading. Oh well, never mind. I am taking up like all of the bandwidth with the streaming. Anyway, Marshall Islands, interesting. Oceania, yeah. I should have guessed that first. I was scared. I should trust more in my geography. I promise. I know a fair bit when it comes to geography, just not when it comes to counties in the UK. I can name like 30 states or something from the US, but it takes me a while. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Twilight Mirror is a good choice. It's a shame it's amiibo locked. Like, I really appreciate them getting rid of all of the amiibo locked armor suits, but personally, I wish it was done for the paragliders too. For me, I'm counting Paraglide Fabrics as 100%, just not the amiibo ones, obviously, because I can't actually get my hands on those without buying all the amiibos. I did nearly buy the Wolf Link amiibo, actually, just before lunch, so I would have... Not lunch, before lunch. Before launch of Tears. Yeah, I backed down, though, last minute, opting for Archer Link from Breath of the Wild instead. They were the same price. I don't have TP HD, I just have the original TP, but on Wii, meaning that I don't need it for Cave of Ordeals or whatever. I'll probably get it at some point. I don't see a world in where I don't end up collecting more of the amiibos. I just wish they'd have released them more. It's part of my statement piece this year has been just that Nintendo needs to do more merch. You have all the amiibo cards. See, that would be the way to do it. But I'm a sucker for the actual statuettes themselves. Like, to me, the game value isn't really there. Like, I don't particularly care long term about having like the in-game stuff. Like, I lasted without any amiibos for the entire duration of Breath of the Wild. It wasn't until the launch of Tears that I actually was like, I should have the statues. But I like the fact that they display. If I could afford one of the first 4 figure ones, I've said if they do a first 4 figures of Raru, Tulin, or just a really cool Link one, I'll buy, even if it's the more expensive price. Not the 500 ones, like the 100 and so ones. They are expensive. They are expensive, and so are the amiibos. To be fair, for what they are, the amiibos are ridiculously overpriced. I mean, not that I'm expecting Lego Zelda to be particularly any better whenever it does happen, but I could quite happily display a load of minifigures on my desk for the same price and be as happy with it, because that's my... Right, let me pretend, in the reality where Deku Tree is all we get, the leaked Zelda set, let's say that is the only set they decide to produce, like with Horizon, and then they just call it quits, which would be so dumb and I would hate it, but it could happen technically. Shocking. Yeah, Lego Zelda would... It'd be more awesome. I think it would be awesome enough to justify the price point. In the world where only the Deku Tree is the set that gets made, is a really sad world. But I think there's one regret that I would have. Like, I could eventually make my peace with the fact that they've done the Zelda license in some form, except for the fact that, one, no play scale and no game coverage. But the one unforgivable thing is if they just release the Deku Tree and that's it, is no adult Link, and I mean adult Link not styled OOT, because it's got Child Link OOT, Breath of the Wild Link, which is by far the most anticipated figure for me in that set, and then Breath of the Wild Zelda. The missing of a traditional green-capped adult Link, or teenage Link, whatever you want to call it, is by far the most criminal addition in this alternate universe where they don't make any more. I really, really, really need SS or very close to SS Link to be a figure. I cannot live in the world where we don't get Skyward Sword Link, because it's just my Link. He's the one, like the Tunic of the Sky. And Nintendo clearly don't want to like forget about it because it was in Tears. But I'm scared. I'm scared for the world if we don't get classic Links. Yeah, I'd really, really hate it. It does. And obviously anyone could apply this to anyone. At least with TP, OOT, SS, and Toon, I believe like there's actually a realistic chance. But if someone came to me and said, I would be incredibly disappointed if Link's Awakening remake Link doesn't appear, and I'm like, well, the toy aesthetic, sure, I get that it's your favourite, but I don't believe it's as likely. At least with any of the other classic Links, I believe there's a fair shot. Welcome in, Epi. How are we doing today? Impromptu stream. We are doing figures for Wave Tears of the Kingdom. I keep calling it Wave Tears of the Kingdom because I realise that no one knows the fact that it's Wave 8. The story behind why this is Wave 8 and not Wave 5, or even part of Wave 4, is just the fact that I thought I'd get to Wave 8 way before Tears came out. Even with Tears getting delayed how many times, I still only made it to Wave 4 since March of 2020, which is incredibly slow. Am I doing this right? I don't know. It looks a little wavy for our protagonist. May have chosen the wrong hairpiece here. Link's Awakening remake is in the one on the Switch, the chibi toy one. Like, I could very much see a world that, although the Tunic of Awakening is in Tears, I could very much see a world where LEGO just ignores that as a minifigure and just says classic Link, or just uses one of the 3D Links to represent uses one of the 3D links to represent the classic games. My point being is, to me, that's why it's so egregious if they don't decide to touch SS or TP Link's design, the green tunic one, is because they are so iconic and it is so prevalent and it's everywhere. So it feels a lot more viable for me and a lot more reasonable for me to go, if they don't release it, I'll cry. Instead of with Link's Awakening, I feel like I can just grow up and go, okay, maybe we won't ever get a figure version of the Toy Link, which is also a shame. To be fair, I could see them Toy Link. I could see them doing like a large scale model of Toy Link, like as similar. How do I phrase it? Like a Star Wars helmet or something. That was a mistake. I upped the size, didn't I? No, couldn't undo. Thank you. Yeah. What is going on with this hairpiece? Yeah, this is a custom hairpiece that I designed in Parts Designer, and if anyone's ever used Studio Part Designer, you'll know it sucks. However, it does have some benefits, and one of them is the fact that it's not reliant on Mecha Bricks, and Mecha Bricks goes down. Made a custom like that the day they came out. The game came out. What, a custom of the glide suit, or custom of just Link, or a custom based off tiers? I should have questioned that. Whoops. I think I've done that too wavy. Actually, let's get my reference imagery in here. I have a... Yeah, I've chosen the wrong hairpiece here. Oh, Link's Awakening, yeah. I see. Now, I want this to be a face print because I don't think they'd ever do a new mold of it. So the hair is okay. I'm willing to trust the lines on here though, because this back piece is the mullet, which is, to be fair, probably the part they would use. So let's just trace these lines. See how we go. Speaking of Studio, they added a new update. If you've seen my community post, you already know what I'm talking about. New mold would be cooler for the glide mask, yeah it would. I mean, we'll see how it turns out, because if it looks really wonky, I'll change it, but the hard part is justifying it. There are a lot of new molds in Wave 8. I had to do one for, well actually this one's from Wave 4, but you haven't seen it yet. There's a new mold for Rock. There's a new mold for the Constructs, which we'll see later, because I'll be doing the Constructs today. I've already done some of them, but we have so many more to do because there's like 7 of them. There's a new mold for the Construct parts. There's a new mold, well, there's some new fabric pieces. There is another new mold as well, but I have forgotten what it is off the top of my head. Typically, because I'm trying to do it. I know I haven't made it yet, I know that much, but I don't remember what it's actually for, which is unfortunate. We'll see as we get to the face. Maybe I will just make it 3D and attach it to this hairpiece, considering that it's already kind of chaotic. But I wanted to get the main features in first, then we can hide this underlayer and just get going on the actual cool stuff, which is the details. I should have really Control X that in just so that we can actually see him next to that. That's absolutely tiny. Oh, I very much disproportioned him there. Oh no. He looks really wide now. Who was the first Lego Zelda YouTuber that I watched? Ooh, interesting. Good question, for one. Because it's it's a story, as is everything, right? So I am old enough that I was around back in the original days. So the first one I would have watched would have actually probably been some of the stuff that supported the original Ideas projects. So I believe there used to be, it's not around anymore, or else I would have shown it in a video by now, but there used to be a video made by Wes Talbot, the designer of Iron Knuckle Encounter, the Ideas set from 2013, that showed off the function of that, as in like trying to get people to support it. So that would have been the first video that I watched. There are also some very early animations, like some Ocarina of Time stuff back in 28, that kind of time period. But the first one I would have watched, big one at least, would have been the Lego Zora. Ever since, obviously, he's made less and less stuff. I know he's still around, still doing stuff, but just not as frequently. So I would have been watching him fairly early on. Then some of Hylian stuff, Hylian Bricks. A lot of the one-off stuff, though. I remember Brickster's statue. The anything surrounding the Hammers Yellow First stable, but you got to remember that there's very few 100% dedicated people. Spinach Bricks used to do stuff very similar to what I do around the time I started, so he was very good, but he's stopped now. His design's just been stolen by the knockoff companies within the last year. Yeah, but I was mostly in the Lego space or the Zelda space. If you want to look for direct inspiration, I remember watching stuff like the original Twilight Princess walkthroughs and stuff by Zelda Dungeon back in the days. Those would have been very inspiring to see. That looks a little pale. Mr. Lego Zora, yeah, he really pioneered the idea of a full custom set for Zelda. It's a shame that more people won't jump on the train in a sense, but it's unfortunate. It's just not quite popular enough, which is weird considering Lego, not Lego, Tears sold how many million units in the first 3 days. But then again, Lego's slightly more on the niche side. There we go. Anyway, so I suppose it makes sense. That is way too yellow. We just got to get this shade right. More pink, I think. There we go. That's better. But yeah, Lego Zora was a huge inspiration for many people. Hylian Bricks as well. Only reason he started, and then started watching some other stuff, Lego Zelda. Yeah, and that's probably where I came in. It's sort of become the thing, right? Ooh, okay. Yeah, he does have exposed hands. I'm not doing them in brown. We need more contrast on this outfit anyway. I know they're gloves, so technically the wrist would be 50-50, but I'm not doing that because there's no need. Yeah, no, Legos are a massive inspiration. If I want to name ones in specifics, it would have been the Chilphos Battle Pack. That was a huge realization point for me. Chilphos Battle Pack. That's the set by him, I'd say. My favorite anyway. His painted figures and stuff are both simultaneous a huge inspiration, but also the reason I cannot do painted figures because they're just not good enough for my own like standards in a sense. Right, let's draw this face mask because I think it's going to be the hardest part. Okay, so that's a mess. I can already see. Because of the video quality, you thought I had 100k. No, that video quality, it's rough, man. It's not that good, to be honest. People say that quite a bit actually. They're like surprised by the video quality, but no. A lot of this stuff is just, well, not slapped together, but just not the quality people give it praise for. I don't believe it deserves the praise, but I will take it. So thank you. It's always good. Right, beak. I like to think that even if you guys sometimes don't agree with the sets or like concepts that I bring forward, I can provide a what's it called, like a lens into what Lego Zelda might be like. I mean, 100k is the dream though, of course. I'll settle for 1 for now, but 100k would be amazing. But it's unreasonable to ever expect that it would get that far. Okay. Like making custom figures. Practice helps a lot. Yeah. The eyes, the heads are so small. You'll find that even in in doing stuff like this, where you're drawing, the eyes are a right nuisance. When I started, I used the bug eyes, as people call them, from the Clone Wars, like that kind of style, because obviously Zelda has that Japanese anime inspiration a lot of the time. So I used that for my figures, and that just did not look right. So eventually we changed over to doing normalized, but it's really difficult to get any form of emotion behind it. I like characters like this, or stuff like enemies that don't have humanoid eyes, because it makes them so much easier to do, because I just get to ignore the normal conventions of the Lego system and do what I think's right for the character. Let's put this on another layer. It's a little on the large size, but let's try it. See, ooh, no, those are very much outsize. I like the second one a lot more there. That's probably a little better. Because what you've got to remember here about what I'm doing right now is that this head is on a tilt, so I can't just do a straight face like I might normally. Passing the Lego Zora in subs and don't deserve this. I just make stupid world maps on my phone. No, not stupid at all. It does feel that way, right? Like, it's crazy when you start getting any form of subscriber count or anything. It's like, wow, that used to be so far off. And I think the Lego Zora is really the forefront in the field. It's just there is no... What am I doing? There is no one higher. So it's crazy to think that there are now more people, right? It's cool. Let's have a look. See, so past or all country based tutorial. Yes, I remember now. Yeah, I'm sure I've definitely visited your channel before. My man, but it all blurs together. There's too much going on in my head for my own good. I should not be allowed to come up with new ideas because every time I do, it does not end well. But no, whatever your maps have obviously clearly done something to deserve it. I'm sure that it would have been a lot harder to pass the Lego Zora if he was still uploading. And no, I'm not throwing shade just in case he's watching, but it's just true, right? Okay, let's just give this a go. Now, bear with me because I imagine this does not look great. 197 and it's a map you stole from Google. Imposter syndrome? Oh no. I mean, you presented it in a form. They're short. See, actually, that's a good question. I've been thinking of entering the shorts fray. Part of me on my traditional YouTube, like, stubbornness wants to say no and like fight the shorts algorithm, but the other part of me thinks it might help reach a new audience. So I've been considering it. What would any thoughts, any advice? I pause like I'm in a normal conversation. But I'm perfectly happy just talking. You recommend it? Yeah. Recommend it on like what account? Like the idea of for better views, or just for the fun of it, or have you found it has any negative impact on normal videos, or do you just exclusively post shorts so it's not a problem? Because that's obviously a concern, is how it impacts what I actually do love making on a day-to-day basis. You guys would not believe the grind it's been for custom sets for tiers. That's why we're doing figures now, because it's starting. It's fun. Use popular songs in the background for views, make a full few videos, and they get into triple digits. So not too bad if you've got the content and the skill to back it up. So you brought up two interesting points there. Is music in videos is something I've not avoided, but haven't exactly used either. That would definitely help my my production value. Except for on Friday, I'm trialing out one with music for the first time, so we'll be able to see exactly how that goes for me using some of the new tiers tracks, because although Nintendo could just strike me down, I want to take the risk and see what it's like. Try some new things. That's not looking... Let's put a black circle in the middle. You also mentioned... Yes, I mentioned music. That'd be a good one. I was talking about the grind that we've been on for tiers. Yeah, so 18 sets is the plan for Tears of the Kingdom. 18 customs is the ideal... Well, I've decided the ideal amount to cover everything I want, with one or two later down the line for other waves. Because one benefit of having tiers come out earlier in the custom set showcase is some of the duff ideas, like the bad ideas that I have for like wave 6 or 7. Because don't forget, it's a 9-wave plan. The custom set showcase is 9 waves. and I have to fill those gaps. So most waves usually have 13 to 15. We've gone for 18, and what I've done is so that I can prioritize on making certain ones. Instead of having to release all 18 at once, I've set it up so they're going to come out in 2 launches of 9 is the current plan. I really don't like this hairpiece. Let's get rid of this fringe, because as cute it does not suit what we are doing here at all in the slightest. This is very much a slick back hair look, so we can actually fill in the rest of his eyes. Oh, this is kind of confusing. Okay, let's try like that. Yeah, music does not belong to me. That's what Lego Zora used to do. See, I know it works obviously while we're nice and small, but I'm just protecting myself later down the line. I put it in the description, but I forgot to put it in the front. Oh well, we'll see what happens on Friday. I doubt they'll target me. I'm not worried. I'm not scared of their copyright machines. I should be, but I'm not. That also looks hideous. It's a little tool. Yeah, I just want more of the mask to be recognizable, I think. Like, I want to have the... if we look here at the design, it's this third eye that makes it iconic. And he does have swept-backed hair, so... Let me bring that back on. Where... Yeah, see, that's gone way too low now. Now we are in trouble. Okay, let's make this big again. Oh dear, am I on the wrong layer for that? Oh yeah, I linked it in with what I originally intended as part of the glide mask by accident. This is the problem with doing things on multiple layers. We'll fix it, we'll fix it. I have graded the glide set twice. It's a very nice little bonus. I'm very pleased. It is worth it. I have some issues with stuff like that though, because not all of the twice set bonuses are exactly what I feel they should be. Glide set, yeah, I'm happy with that. I do feel like I wish I could apply cold resist though, because some of the sky areas obviously were cold. But the bigger problem I have, and I suppose this is resource management, so this is more of a bug with intended game design than anything that I'm having a problem with. But the idea of both the cold resist set giving unfreezable as a bonus, but at the same time you cannot ever wear the snow boots or why did the snow boots, when upgraded twice, not give cold resist as a passive buff? Because I really would like to be able to wear the snow boots, the snow-cooled tunic, and the Korok mask, still get 2 levels of cold resist, but then still be able to move fast. Yeah, impactless for glide tech was fantastic. What it created for me was an interesting problem, was I was fighting a Gleeok. And I suddenly I did a skydive and I just landed on the ground thinking I had impact proof, and I very much didn't, which meant I just completely splattered. Yes, the frostbite set too. I want cold attack while having snow boot abilities and the cold resist. Yeah, why are these second upgrades? Because it's not like I'm not working for them, so I feel like it's not breaking the game or anything for me to have these abilities. I just would really love to be able to wear them in a sense, but for me, I will never wear the cold attack because there's just never I'd never need it in a sense, because I'd always want cold resist. And yeah, I realize that the intended game strat is to make food or something, but I'm not going to have that on me all the time, or I'm going to be saving those for upgrades or whatever. Because that's obviously what's killing it, is the Great Fairy costs in this game are insane. Message retracted. Oh. Now I'm assuming it's a typo or something confused, but I can pretend it's more sinister. Yeah, Paranoid, always look if you have impact proof like 10 times. Yeah, it's really, really, really important. As I just took the hit. The Gleeok was like 1 hit away from death as well, so it was a brutal loss. But oh well, it's part of the game, right? You move on. Okay, time to do the top part. I love it when sets like this have just creepy eyes, which make my job so much easier. think it's the color scheme. Actually, we got to talk about this color scheme, isn't it? That's going to become white. Now, ideally, of course, this would be sand red, but that's a retired color from Lego. So, what am I going to do for that? Probably just pretend that it's red or nougat, or they might get ignored because that's pretty small areas. Like that's arm, so I won't have to worry about it. And here, I might just ignore them for better color balancing. I think probably, or maybe I'll add some spots of a nougat or something. King Leok launched me off a sky island. I almost killed him, but then I was long gone. Yeah, straight down, right? The King Leok fights are insane. Just so much fun. Like really challenging. I can't. I did it. I tried to do one quite early. I didn't know about the second phase. So when he just suddenly went up and started making it a bullet hell, that was a really interesting moment for me. But I absolutely love that encounter. So much more fun than Lionel's, in my opinion. I could get some hate for that one, but I really do think so. Yeah, I really love the fight. It's a lot more interesting to me. Okay, let's do that for now. We'll pretend that the goggle gets launched in somewhere. But a lot of fun, so much fun. My favourite enemy in the game, and why not? It will be a set too. I think the King Leok is one of the easiest decisions I've ever had to make about making custom, because Lego loves dragons, and he looks really cool. So he'll make a great set. I'm very excited. He's finished as well, by the way. All done already. He's part of the first 9 that we'll be releasing by the end of this month. The trailer is soon, which means then another week, and then it will be sets. Shrines I've completed. Light Roots, I'm at 82. I thought I had way more than I actually do, but I don't. I've finished the shrines using the Light Roots, was how I managed to get them done. I've beaten the game. I beat the story once I had 152 shrines. That was the guideline I set out for myself. And then once I did that, I was pretty much straight to Ganon, because also Ganondorf. I'm so used to saying Ganon from Breath of the Wild. Yeah, but I very much enjoyed doing the shrines. They are some of my favourite parts of this game. I wasn't thrilled on the idea of them coming back once I found out they were in the game, which I didn't find out until very late. Just like I'm pretty sure Nintendo didn't wanted. Yeah, but super fun. Some of the most creative concepts. Working on caves, me too. I decided that Light Roots could wait, because I finally got around to unlocking the number counts for all of the big enemies. 6 Medals of Honor. I have 66 Taluses, and I went, nope, that is a depths problem, and can be done later. Was my executive decision. Okay. Let's see. Let's move these around a little because they're looking a little bit wonky. I don't know what it is, so obviously don't spoil it for me. But I am very excited on whatever the Colton reward is going to be. I am very intrigued, very interested. It's looking very good. Yeah, we haven't even done the torso yet. The torso and the colour is what will bring this together. I'm glad you would buy it, because that's the whole reason we're drawing it, is because it's going to be in a custom. Not that means you can buy it, but the point being is that I want it to feel as if it's a figure that would, maybe if not sell a set, just be very desirable, that people would actually want. And it's always hard to tell whether these guys are going to turn out okay as well. I struggle with the figures. It's one of those like love-hate relationships almost. There's something off here. It's not too bad. We'll leave it for now. I think that one's it's just a little thick around here. The reward for all bubble gems. I know what the Medal of Honors look like, unfortunately. Yeah, the bubble gem reward is what I would like to be kept a secret, because I'm hoping there's some sort of transformation or little cutscene. Doesn't have to be anything major, just something that's gonna be fun, you know? Reminds me of other quests like Betrow in Skyward Sword, and I love that quest too, so just the idea of watching him achieve his dreams, and he's so wacky. Poor little Colton. We only want the best for him. Yeah, and that's why I'm going to hope that that means that it's good, or at least very worth the effort, because the caves are a lot of work, but they are a lot of fun. I enjoy the caves a lot. Less so like-likes. I was really excited about like-likes coming back. Unfortunately, a little disappointed. Not disappointed, just they're just irritating. They're very, very irritating as far as monsters go. They're just annoying to deal with. Well, that's okay. Not every monster has to be enjoyable to fight, like the Fluxes. I'd say the Fluxes are definitely the most entertaining to fight in the whole game. Like-likes are annoying. They are just a nuisance to kill, and they always position them in the worst place as well, making them really, really difficult to get around. Favorite custom that I've ever made? And that's a tricky answer. Obviously, I don't have kids, but I imagine it's like trying to pick a favorite child. It's very, very tricky to work out what my favorite is. A lot of nostalgia for the Fire Sanctuary, because it was the first one. However, I will equivalently say it's not the best custom. I have a lot of joy towards Great Sea Adventure as well. I'm a big fan of Great Sea Adventures, which is my Wind Waker one from Wave 1. As you can see, a lot of Wave 1 stuff. I did actually make a video ranking it, but it's very out of date. I have a lot of love for Lurelin Village, or Take Back the Sea, as it's called in the custom as well. As well as the Shadow Temple. It's another favourite. Prince Wallace Wagon Escort is another great one. The Eagle Clan Attacks. Basically, there's like 7 all the time. Oh, who else? There's a way forward. Oh, the Ancient Automaton Coloctus. I was more out of nostalgia, but I really loved my Coloctos. More so because I remember looking at the old one on Lego Ideas, so seeing this, like a newer version, was just cool to me, even though I made it. A little bit of self-bias. That does not look good. I made the Forest Temple from OOT once. Nice. Another fantastic location. I was recently replaying OOT 3D. I definitely want to get there at some point to do Forest Temple. I believe it's on the list for like Wave 7, Wave 8. No, not Wave 8, because Wave 8 is Tokka. It's on one of the waves, so it will happen eventually in the Custom Set Showcase, but I think it depends on how you tackle it. It depends on what you prioritize as sort of needing the... or deserving, I should say, the attention in that set, because there's lots of the Forest Temple. It's a very iconic place with a lot of different features. That's too low down. Meaning you can cover a lot of it, or choose to not cover lots of it either as well. You sort of see what I'm trying to say. Right, we want a little curl up, because we don't want him to feel... Yeah, it's going to look goofy because it's a goofy headpiece, isn't it? There we go. Okay, very high collar though. Very, very high collar. Yeah. I really want to do an OOT randomizer. I think it'd be a lot of fun, although I'm just too scared of the anti-emulation gods striking me down. I wouldn't play it on like a stream or anything, just like in my own time, but I'm scared of being the public example they use to take down all emulation ever, because they're cruel people. No, I do want to do one though. I don't feel like I know OOT well enough. It's not the one I grew up on. I watch people in my family play it a lot, but I've only played it twice. I mean, this most recent one I was playing was while I was traveling, so it was nice and simple just to put on. It was really enjoyable. It's the most fun I've had with OOT, because my first playthrough, I didn't love it, but it continues to feel incredibly archaic. I feel it has aged, not poorly, but it has aged. Viewers don't. Yeah, see, it all comes down to what you do on the channel, isn't it? Whether your viewers care or not. So because your views have come from maps, I imagine it must be incredibly difficult to do what you want on the channel. Because they are only here for maps. Like, this channel started off a lot more balanced towards Lego and Zelda. Has become less balanced, more just towards Zelda. Which is, although I suppose Lego Zelda sits in the middle. It's a little unfortunate. I'd like to do more just basic Lego stuff, but tis a shame. But I like this too. This comes out well. Many new channels. I'm assuming none as successful as your shorts-based map endeavors. No. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be talking to a person with like 7 channels. There we go. That's a much better shape now. Right, and we're going to bring that one down. 45 minutes already. Usually figures only take me about half an hour, so this is a detailed one to be sure. We want like a crescent moon inside of that, or I could just make that the crescent moon itself. No, we're getting a little close there to that line. Because we're already quite a way down the torso. 2.8k subs, yeah, and then the second most popular has 130, yeah. A little bit more on my level. I joke, yes. What's going on there with that shape? It's definitely getting smaller at the top, which is not something I've particularly well replicated. Right, what if we do that instead? And then come out this side here. So this is the challenges now we come across. Then it gets smaller. 20 channels. See, are those channels active? Is this the point where I give the cheeky, if you're enjoying today's stream, why don't you consider using all 20 of your secret accounts to support the LEGO Zelda Custom Set Showcase? We have some exciting stuff coming. Suppose I should talk about that. Actually, why not? While you're here, everybody, let me know what the moment you want from, or the moment you're hoping from tiers that will show up in the custom sets. What are you guys expecting to see? Have I, before even starting, have I already disappointed you guys? Have I already made bad choices? They're all picked, so I can't guarantee that it will by suggesting stuff to me now, that will actually make it in. But what are you hoping to see from tiers in the CSS? Because as I said, I found 18 things. And actually on Friday I'll be discussing the 15 things I think LEGO needs to do, which is not the same as what I do. Forget passwords. Oh no, sorry, I'm not going to be getting a 20 sub increase then. Oh, shame. I'm joking with you, of course. There's no obligation to do anything to support me or this channel. Interesting YouTube change actually allows me to consider doing memberships and stuff now, but I just don't think it's the right audience for memberships. I don't know what I would give you guys as perks or be able to keep up on the perks. Who knows how long I shall be free and willing to do stuff like that. So I won't be enabling memberships for the time being. You don't have to count the accounts. Right, so we are finishing up with the neck. I should also bring up some exciting news. I don't know if I've talked about it on the stream before, but one of the customs for Wave 4 is in fact a certain location from Skyward Sword that required a special piece to be added to Studio. Not a custom mold, but a piece, well, a piece that would make the set possible. It was a newly released piece at the time that I was designing Wave 4, meaning that it hadn't been added to Studio yet, and this was the new roller coaster elements from the Loop Coaster. And I was waiting. I had to wait for those to be added before I would decide to make said custom. And I can now be very pleased to announce that in one of the recent part updates, I believe either in the last month, they finally added the part I'm looking for, which now means that the Lanayru Sandsea uh, pirate thing. No, what's it called? The Lanayru Sansi minecart course can now become a custom now too. Upside down Russian flag. What, the white, blue, red? Oh, yeah. Probably not intentional. Also, it's a bent flag, like it's curved, so I think they can get away with it without too much of a problem. I'm noticing all the subtle wing imagery now as well, now that I've started. The shape of Lego torsos makes this more difficult than it needs to be, but we'll manage. Okay, so that's everything on this medium nougat section here. Then I'm going to do dark brown because I think it's the cooler colour. And we're going to stretch down to the middle where we're going to have a belt. We're probably going to have this belt. Let's put the belt in. Love Lanayru and Skyward Sword. Yeah, it's a lot of people's favourites. My favourite goes to Eldin because of the music. But that is purely biased. I can agree. Lanayru is the best realm region in that game. It has the most detail put into it. I'm not a huge fan of the initial big area where the mining facility is. I think that area is just a little bit messy, a little bit confusing for my taste. But it's still fantastic. What a great time. People do not appreciate Skyward Sword as much as it should be. Here we go. Here Octane goes on his Skyward Sword support rant again. No, Skyward Sword is much underrated. Hello, Brick Wizard Studios. Here's another Lego Zelda. We can't really call them. We count it as tubers. Welcome on in. Nice to see you. How is your animation going? See, I know. Nothing better than animating while watching stream. I called it, of course. Still on that grind, right? So still going super fast, making lots of progress. Been on a little bit of a kick myself as well. I'm gonna be here for a while, yeah. Very good. Skyward Sword was good. Other than the signs, the sign realms are good. No, terrifying, sure, but that's what makes them special and why I love them. The Guardians are the original terrifying Guardians, as much as people talk about Breath of the Wilds. They have a custom set, of course, which I'm sure you already knew, but I have to plug custom sets whenever we end up talking about them because that's just how it is. We're talking about weeks until we finish, so you haven't been on as much of a complete maniac grind then as you were a couple of days ago then. You haven't just not been eating and sleeping until it's finished. Because last time we spoke, I believe that was the state you were in. Just 30 seconds of MI Man used to make stop motions, yeah. I have a couple under my belt as well, but I wasn't very good. We're talking a decade ago. Oh. All of this talk about decades ago just makes me feel old. What stop motions did you used to make? Okay, the rough shapes of this are in. Okay, so then if we continue this down, we can shape up the bottom of this eye. This, for those of you that obviously aren't staring at Tyr's outfits for large proportions of the day, you'll see this shape a lot here, this eye. We assume to be the same as the third eye. It appears on the constructs too. I assume it's a representation, something like Raru's eye. Third eye, that is. Just the small things that you notice when you're trying to work out how on earth you're going to do certain things from this game in Lego form. So many possibilities with Minecraft, absolutely. Good game, good place for stop motion. Actually, I surprisingly enjoyed the Lego sets a fair bit as well, more recently. Oh, 2 weeks the last holiday, so it was the last animation that we were in grind mode on. I get it, I gotcha. So much going on, so much going on. I should not be allowed to have memory, really. Okay, am I on 2 separate layers again? I feel like this guy is split between 2 separate layers. Let's just double check that. Yep, I called it. Okay, we'll deal with that later. Right, so I want to extend this down because one of my least favourite things... Oh, rubbish. We're on remove tool. Is when prints go between belt. So we're just going to stop this one short, I believe. We're going to rub that out over here, and then we'll get back to business. So I believe I can make that a little bigger now as well. See, I never know quite how much scale we're working with, so it's difficult to sort of gauge in advance what things will look like. But we can indeed do that. There you go. That's a lot better of a representation. Okay, where are we with all of these millions of straps? Lego Minecraft got me into Lego, yes. As it did for a fair few adults, I believe, as well. It's a really good and underrated sub-theme. It does not get enough credit for what it does, mainly because what they do sometimes is a little questionable. I think back to the Hoglin. Nope, I won't let it go. It looks trash. But I can see why it gets people into Lego. It's a great facilitator for people that are playing the Lego video game, in a sense. Because although they're not branded, I think it's fairly clear, right, that one is at least inspired by the 90-year-old toy. Anyone have any thoughts on the newest update, though? It wasn't awful, but nothing much to keep me engaged. Legazor is just busy. He's still around and active. He's a voice actor in Hylian Bricks' animation and occasionally stops by other places as well. He's still alive and healthy, last anybody knows. I believe Minecraft is the most bought game of just ever. Ever since it, well, not ever since it came out, but it has managed to accrue enough popularity, well, enough players to just be the most bought game, very well played, specifically over COVID, had a massive upheaval, ooh, I am all over the place, a massive uptick in players, there we go, because people are looking for that escapism, and rightly so. That's where I found it as well. Well, I already knew about it, but when they announced they were considering doing stuff like archaeology, I was like, oh, this is my chance to get into it. I wanted to get into it for a much longer time before that. Obviously, I'm pretty much exclusively a Nintendo gamer outside of that, so, and even then, very limited. I can't believe that I only played my first Mario game this year. Fake fan. I really want this red to appear. I think I'm just going to pretend like... yeah, no, me too. I'd love to talk to Zora some more as well. We've had 3 conversations. Zora was the person that told me about the Deku Tree leak. I got this YouTube comment notification saying, well, I guess you're out of a job, was the message he sent me. And I will never forget that, because it's how I discovered that the Deku Tree had been leaked. Because that's the story, right? You know, all those 18 plus things leaked, right? So there was loads and loads of things going around, and I was like, oh, I'll catch up when it's over. And then the Deku Tree was leaked while I was at work, and then literally as I was signing off from work, I open my phone and I see this notification. And I'm like, what on earth does that mean? And then I was like, hang on a minute. So then I rush over to good old Lego Leaks, and then I saw it, and then luckily I sort of was tipped off just by the way he'd phrased it, so I recorded just in case, like my reaction. But man, I cannot wait to see how that thing turns out, because no guarantee it will ever be released. One, I hope it is though, but more importantly perhaps is we don't know what form it will look like, what it will look like at all. Epic. Yeah, it was such a great just response of just like, sorry, what do you mean? I guess you're out of a job. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You don't know where I work at all. The wings. I have a feeling we're going to have some problems with some colour matching here today. Yeah, it was a really, like, savage response. But we appreciate it nonetheless. Let's do the arms. I'm going to simplify the arms a lot because they don't print on here. I'm going to give us one slight benefit. Actually, no, I'm not. I lie. I'm just going to keep them brown. Clinically insane because I planned out an entire story for Breath of the Wild 3. Okay, don't give us the whole thing, but give us a quick rundown. What is your plot synopsis for Breath of the Wild 3? Because I had my own for, not for Tears, but when I was playing Tears before I finished the ending, I came up with like a post game or like a DLC idea. Purely, and then I was immediately disproven because obviously as soon as I played the ending, I saw what happened and I was like, well, no need for that. I wouldn't say you're the only person by far that's planned their own Zelda game. I know I've done it once or twice. Please no Breath of the Wild 3. I agree, Brickwizard Studios. We are done with this world as much as I love Tokka. It's time to move on. I don't mean back to linear, I just mean a new world. Please. I hope they're smart enough to realise they need to continue their innovation tactics. I'd argue that considering we've never done direct story-based sequel before, this was the right decision to make this time around. But I agree with you, Brickwizard. I'm done. I want something new. Okay, that is a pretty detailed torso. Not half bad. Right. Legs. So we've got this weird flap. But just because we don't want the game does not mean that we don't need to hear what it could look like. At least in my opinion. I'd still very much be curious as to what your idea plan is. Koga finds the demon dragon's head, gets powers from it and messes up the terrain and moves all the regions and the chasms close. Great Plateau becomes a canyon and other things. Interesting. So like an inverse. Yeah, go ahead and make a video on it as well. That's always a good idea to share your thoughts with the world. That's just what all of us are doing, right? We're just sharing what we would like to see with the world. It's too long. I don't know. Not necessarily. Time travel is eventually old. Now my question is, does Link go to space? Because we all very much love the anti-grav sections in Tears. So I have to ask. Does Link go to space? I've been trying to work out a way that they could actually pull off Link in space. I have not yet come up with the answer. It may just be a tad too ridiculous, but I would like to see Link in space. I didn't think I wanted to. Only a little. Yeah. Only a little. No Koga, no Link astronaut suit anytime soon then. It's to be expected, but yeah, it makes sense. Right, where do those straps go? They're across the thigh, okay? A few extra skylines show up and you can climb to space, yeah. I wonder if we will get DLC, because I've been trending towards no, given the just lack of any information. But I could see more skylands being part of DLC. I think about like the lack of, well, some of the spaces. I like the space between them, but I also feel like there could be more. Or could be more special ones, like what's it called? Starfall Island, or Mirror Spring Island, or something like that. It's a very detailed custom. Thank you. We try. We really try. Not perfect, but as I always say, mine are just here to show you what it could look like, not how it would look like if a professional artist did it. If you want to see how a professional artist does it, whew, Noah R is doing some amazing ones, absolutely amazing. I don't know how you get to see them because they're on the Discord, but his newest figures are incredible. I think he's going to do the whole character log. I could be wrong there. Starview! Yeah, Starview. But what's the other one above Ritu? Ritu. You know how DLC is confirmed too. Interesting. I don't know how you know DLC is confirmed. Because I know it said that thing on the website, but we know... Noah R. He did 2 series back in the day. A long time ago, and he's a very good artist that's improved a lot as well. Not that he wasn't already good, but he's even better now. He doesn't post much on his YouTube anymore, but he has a Discord server where he posts what figures he's working on, and they are very, very good, and I like them a lot. One of my other big inspirations, MI Man, you were asking earlier, another huge inspiration for me, probably the individual biggest. 152 shrines, they could boost up to 160, you could get full hearts and full stamina, it's common sense. Well, we thought that with Breath of the Wild, but they didn't do that then. In fact, they seem to hate making you choose 8 DLC shrines. Yeah, see, it would make logical sense, wasn't it? But they feel like, I feel like they view it as a, what do you want to call it? Like a, not a rogue, like a choose your style of Link. Personally, loads of people choose stamina. I would choose hearts, but I'm more likely to cook heart up dishes than I am stamina up dishes, so I might as well take the extra stamina and then just have hearty food. Because still, they did not, despite removing durians from the game, it still did not change my mind on cooking only hearty food. Although I am enjoying puzzling out the recipe book. It's a fun little challenge that I wasn't expecting. Okay, now we just need to add the red stripes, and then we have to do the fun mess of filling this guy in. What were you saying? The thing is that Nintendo doesn't make sense. Yep, do you want to give me... I can give you 2 examples right now. Nintendo, where is the Lego Zelda? And Nintendo, where is just the Zelda merchandise? I don't care if you think the franchise is for 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds still want merch just as much as adults do. If I see a 40-year-old man buying a Mario plush, I want to do the same for Zelda. Don't stop me. Why are you so judgmental? Nintendo, come on. Nintendo, please. Bring back the action figures from like the Wind Waker days. I'm assuming you guys have seen my video on the Microland Wind Waker stuff. That stuff's so cool. Just give us that but Lego this time, because duh. It's so cool. I'd love more of that. Okay, it is colour time. So let's grab our flesh tone that we mixed up really badly earlier. And we can put this on the gaps where we need it. Okay. We need a dark turquoise for the accents. Probably the worst colour to start with. Lego dark turquoise, that is. I love the colour. Love the colour a lot. There we go. Ooh, it's a little deep actually. Let's bring that back up a little. There we go, that's better. Why I started with this colour, I will never know. I used to have the Microland, it was awesome. Yeah, which one? Was it the Outset Island one, the Ganon Castle one, or the Open Great Sea one? I know way too much about them. Okay, turquoise on the inside. Dark red on the middle. Turquoise here. He's going to look a little cursed for a while, so bear with me, I promise I haven't absolutely lost it. All of it! Yeah, me too. Well, I don't have the King of Red Lions or the Ganon Castle one, but I have all of the characters. Because they used to sell the character packs as extras. I picked those off eBay. Those were very cool. Very pleased with Microland, yeah. Such a cool idea. I don't expect anything like it for Zelda, my pet name for Lego Zelda, but I would like to see something along those similar lines. Lighten that up just a fraction. There we go. Dark tan for the hair, because I still refuse to use any other colour. Lelda. Yeah, Lelda. Lego Zelda. Merge them together and you get Lelda. See, I'm smart. Didn't get Grandma. Oof. How? Because she came in the... Oh, no, she didn't, did she? She came in the expanded starter kit. Why do I know this? There were two versions of Outset Island, which was the bigger one had Grandma, I'm pretty sure. So that's rough, yeah. Sad times. Some of them are a right nuisance to stand over. That's why I wish that we just had Lego sets. It would be so much easier. Okay, we've got a good match of colours now, I think, at least. Brigwizard, do you not like the name Lelda? What's wrong with Lelda? I'll just say it over and over again until it becomes commonplace. I want it to catch on. Lelda. Lelda, Lelda, Lelda. I'm so entertaining, guys. I can see exactly why you guys watch me stream. No. It's fine. I mean, you don't have to like it. I'm not going to force you. It's not like I'm going to ban you for disliking the name Lelda. I just think it's cute. Then again, I also appreciate the Koroks. Remember, the first ever custom I made was OOT Link and it sucked. We looked sad, and he looked sad instead of angry. Oh no, sad. Well, OOT Link does have a lot to be sad about, but that's not a sign of a bad custom though. That's just learning, right? My first one was also atrocious. Let's see if I can bring it in here. It's hard, right? Like, drawing is hard. I mean, my first drawing one is a little different than my first custom one. My first custom was yellow skinned, but this is Breath of the Wild Link. I'll point out the proportions first. Head is small. 2 weeks. Are good conditions good for your working health? Because I feel like Brick Wizard Studios, if you finish that animation in 2 weeks, then you will suffer for it accidentally. Like, I feel like this is going to impact your sleep and so on. Beautiful. You're in a wedding in Austria. That sounds like fun. It may not be optimal for work conditions, but it is a good time. Weddings are interesting places. Gotta appreciate the good bits. Nah, not again. Oh. There we go. Let's put the black back in on this line here. Okay, and then back to filling in the reds. This is the slowest section. Most of what you can do is fill work, but here I have to do it by hand because we're doing the upside down Russian flags, as MI Man put it. Your first custom was physical. My first has been first proper custom has been cannibalized to be used on my newer and better Link. So my first one was the... Actually, technically, if we want to go a bit picky, my first one 10 years ago was just like a random figure that I pretended was Link. I don't really remember. He didn't even look anything like him, which is the funny part. But my first proper Link used the elf ears in yellow. So he was a yellow-skinned Link. Before the elf hairpiece came with flesh-toned ears. So it was like a traditional Link, like vintage 90s. So I don't still have him. You have a good work-life balance this time, yeah. It's fine. Your bad work-life balance has rubbed off on me. I've done 6 customs in the last 2 days. It's kind of insane when you think about it. I spent like months planning, and then I was like, oh no, I'm running out of time. I need to get these out there. So I like just launched myself into it. So I've done like 6 sets for wave 8. Yeah, you should start a new channel, yeah. I would always recommend sharing anything that you have, anything that you want to share. We could always use more Lego Zelda stuff too, although you don't just have to do Lego Zelda stuff, just make it a Lego channel. I would always love to ramble on more about just Lego, all my other interests. Believe it or not, they do exist. Like, has anybody played the Pikmin 4 yet? Because I'm very excited to. I just can't pull myself away from tears. Every time I have the demo, I know I'm going to buy it, but like I want to play the demo first. And every time I go to start up the demo, I just look at tears and I'm like, I need to go do something in tears first. And then I do. And then Pikmin gets delayed by another day. You want to get it? No! Pikmin's so good, guys. I love Pikmin. Pikmin 3 is fantastic. I love the blue ones the best. I think, I've never played 2 and 1. I'm going to buy the physical edition of the re-release they're doing for Switch when it comes out. I think it's October or something the physical comes out. I'll probably buy that then. And then I can play 1 and 2. The problem is getting out of my Tears of the Kingdom addiction, because once I finish my 100% run, which probably won't be for ages, I want to do a paraglider run because I hear they are fun and challenging, and I want to do a 3-heart run. But oh man, I love Pikmin. My second favorite Nintendo property, I think. Then Extended Mario. I like Luigi's Mansion a lot. And then Mario, specifically Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart. Oh, you got to go now, but the stream's over. Yeah, it will be up on the channel. Maybe doing another one tomorrow as well, depending. Haven't decided yet. We'll see. But I'm hoping to get through. This figure's taken me way too long. But I'm hoping to do at least one more figure, and then we'll see you. But thank you for participating, and we will see you again another day. Mario, and then first of all Metroid. So Metroid above Zelda, or are we just not including Zelda in this Brick Wizard Studios? What's the law? Not above Zelda. Zelda is the best, yeah. Can't beat Zelda. Oops. I misclicked. Ah yes, so I just spent ages doing this one very small detail that doesn't matter. Nice. Not above Zelda, no. Can't beat Zelda. And you're more of a classic fan for Zelda, aren't you, as well? So you're not a huge... You still haven't... Have you played Tears now? Or no? We're still saying no. I guess. TP and SS are my time's favourite. SS, still my number 1. Nothing's changed. Still mine too. We love SS. SS is just so good. Not enough people appreciate it. Like, there's nothing wrong with linear storytelling. That's what people misunderstand. Haven't played video games in the last month. Well, because you've been working yourself on this newer project. That's why. I know exactly why you haven't been playing any video games. So yeah, it's been forced to. Tears is part of this for me. I have to understand it if I'm going to make customs for it. Oh dear. Both me and Hylian have come across the fact that Kilton's monster machine thing, the diorama maker, has become incredibly useful because it allows us to take photos and just see the monsters up close without having to die or use dodgy Google references. It's been incredibly useful. Probably after the summer holidays. So you're telling me when you go back to school, you're going to play more video games. That feels counterproductive. Or at the very least, against what you should be doing. Oh dear. Okay. Speed is ramping up now. Now we're through the difficult part. Nah. Sure. It's required, right? It's part of your education. Still have a lot of free time, yeah. Different people do, yeah. I've never had much free time. So this is why we don't get to stream more often. Not from school. I'm not in school. But... You're good in school, yeah. You better behave. Uncle Octane's advice: do good in school, kids. Absolutely required. You're not a digital builder, are you? Though you stick to your animation. One of the best. Wow. I'm pleased. Is it with your animations a career in filmography or a sensible career for real money? I joke, of course. Uncle Octane, yeah, you know it. It's the absolute best advice you will ever receive. Only here on youtube.com/tag, whatever you want to call it, Octane Thermoplastic. Home of the LEGO Legend of Zelda Custom Set Showcase and the best advice you'll find all year. Small self-plug. Small. He says small self-plug. Because, once again, I shall remind you, of course, if you are watching today and you are enjoying my rambling, this is by far the most casual experience you'll find on this channel. Everything else is full speed chaos, so I would recommend subscribing if you haven't already to see what we're going to get up to next. Okay, we are almost done with our first figure to today. As I said, much slower than anticipated. My pace is awful. But I think it's resulted in a good figure. So we'll have to... That is not what I expected at all. I expected him to look so different. Oof. Oof. That's not good. It's completely different to what I expected. Ouch. We are in trouble. We are in much of the troubles. Actually, okay, no, never mind, it's not that bad. Thoughts in chat, please. Yeah, it's a little disproportion, not everything's there, but that looks solid. I was worried about the face. I'm particularly impressed here. I think that's good. Okay, let me rub this off. Looks cool. See, yeah, do you even know what this is, Brick Wizard? You haven't played the game, so no, I'm not surprised if you don't. Okay, let's start getting rid of this so I can export him. Whee! Away he goes. And just like that, no more reference imagery. We can delete that layer. And I will save. But I won't export him until later because I'm not doing that on screen. I can't say how close the original. Well, you saw the original before I deleted it, so I'm pleased with that. You know what? It meets my motto of good enough. Okay, back to the plan. Back to the plan. So we have some more templates to look at, including. Who have we got here? You. I choose you. We're going to do the steward construct. Right, bye-bye glider link. Number 2. Okay, onwards. Be careful not to distort him too much. And then once we've done this one, I think I'll call it for today. The first one took me so much longer than anticipated. I'm usually so much faster. Oh dear. Right, the reference image. Yeah, I deleted the reference image, so that's not all on you. I did go, how does it look as I delete the only comparison we know how to compare it? So, really, YouTuber needs to stream better, but I'm not a YouTuber, so it doesn't matter. I'm a hobbyist. Someone that does some stuff in their free time occasionally, and sometimes people watch it. I should be promoting this channel a lot more. Oh well. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. How do you have done the arms? I decided that for the arms, I wanted them to do in the open position. So that was a glide suit, which in the game is used to fly around. Let me show you the image. Like this. Here. So he flies. So when he opens his arms, he has the wings. So I chose to do the vampire wings from other minifigures, like the vampire bat for that figure. That's how I chose to do the arms. I could have done them down by the side and they would have been a lot more detailed and they probably would have looked a lot better. But the custom set showcase is nothing if not just doing its own thing 24/7. That's how I describe it. Pure chaos. I mean, it's literally true, right? I did Twin Rover, and instead of doing cool minifigures, I just did. Oh, the construct, right? Sorry, I'm slow. Using minifigure poser pieces, alternating with polo studs or Apollo studs, depending on what you call them. The minifigure poser pieces representing the energy that goes through the little rings to his arms. Same thing as the neck. Same things for the captain constructs as well. Sorry, that's my fault. Similar to the Dr. Octopus arms from the Daily Bugle, but just colourful this time. This one's got the gauntlet pieces in its hands as well, from Moltor and one of the Ultra Agent, Tremor from the Ultra Agents too. It's a glove piece that I've recolored into sand green. A lot of this guy is recolored. You won't be seeing him in real life anytime soon, and not at least because new part. I made a new part on the bottom. It's a really useful new part for these guys. I've used it in all of them. I imagine I'll use it in even more when I get around to building the last spoiler construct that I can't say. Well, I could say. I never promised that this was a spoiler-free stream. Right, so not only do we have to add the lines to this guy, but we have to add his other missing feature, which of course is the fact that he should, well, have details. So we're going to be doing some decal work on him too. I'll bring the reference imagery in closer at the time. Ultra Agents, that was a thing in my childhood. Yeah, a long time ago. Ultra Agents probably coming up for nearly 10 years sooner or later. That's rough. Long time no see. I miss the themes like that. Power Miners. Can't believe that Lord of the Rings, the original wave, well, turns 10 years within the next calendar year. Lego Lord of the Rings, that is, of course. Can't wait to get my hands on Rivendell later this year. Feels like these sets, they're getting so old so quickly. It's been 6 or so years since the original Disney Castle. Ultra Agents was good, not my personal favourite from that era, but still fantastic. I'd say it came a little later, but Nexo Nice was the one I enjoyed the most of the mid-2010s. Hidden Side was also good. I was a big fan of Power Miners. 2014 Star Wars specifically. And of course I'll defend the Super Mario line to no end, although that's licensed and a lot later. Not my personal favourite too. What is your personal favourite from that range then, Brick Wizard Studios? I'd love to know. So many good retro themes. I wasn't a fan by any means, but there were lots of other good ones. Ninjago, early Ninjago, right, yeah. Early Ninjago was crazy. Better than mid Ninjago as well, and I don't mean mid as in like it was mid, but like middle range Ninjago was a little awkward for me. I loved Possession. City. Ah, yes. I think everyone goes through a city phase. My city phase was, well, obviously early when I was a child. But later on, my city renaissance, as you will. January 2022 is the best city wave ever. The Ice Cream Criminals. So good. And the vehicles were crazy. But I can understand any kid that's into city. It's very easy to appeal to. Although, to be honest, I'm just a little tired of the fact that we celebrate them doing a park, because that's still the most unique thing they do. It's just police station, fire station, gas station, and then they did a park. Let's clap, because that's amazing. And the park was really good. But then you look over at Friends and they're doing like a botanical garden. I need to talk about that set. Have I talked? I don't remember. Have I talked about the botanical garden? Not on this stream, but just in general before. Because wow, I love that thing so much. I shall be buying it fairly soon. Police stations and gas stations. Yeah, how many police stations did you end up with? Well, I suppose you wouldn't know because you do your parts, right? You part out sets. I keep my sets together. So I think the best police station they've done was the island one, the Alcatraz styled one. I thought it was a lot of fun. A little rocky outcrop. It's just silly. But I love it when they have fun with it, right? Lego is fun, not serious police. Then again, I also understand why they didn't release the Dynamite Factory. How on earth that got through product testing, I have zero clues. I do not even want to know what they were thinking when they made that one police station, one gas station. I'd like a service station, like a gas station, but I didn't enjoy the modular one. So I was always more of a modular, not a kid obviously, but like once I hit modular appropriate age, City lost a lot of its interest, only really continuing interest in, well, when they were relevant to go with my modular. So hopefully I'll pick up the boutique hotel in the next year or so before it retires. And then I'm all caught up with the ones I want anyway. Part of them are used in your sets that you're using today. Yeah, see, this is the benefit. You animators and IRL mockists, you have so many more parts to use. Oh, speaking of though, I will also be, well, I'm not breaking down my sets. I'm going to temporarily borrow parts from my sets to do a build tutorial for the Master Sword pedestal Z0009. I had to remember then. I couldn't remember what the set was. So what is today's set? I should ask, because are we still on the Chinese animation or the China history animation? Welcome on in, of course. Anyone to any people joining in. That's what I love about streaming so much, is watching the number creak up and then just drop down almost instantly. Attention spans these days. No, Zelda is today's topic. So is this for the 37th, 38th anniversary? I lose track. I don't remember when the next one is. I know it's February, but I'm assuming it's not for that animation. For that next anniversary then. This next year must be 38, I'm sure. Oh, it doesn't matter how old Zelda is. It's still as youthful as ever. Not the character, the franchise. Like often, Zelda, we never escape, right? It's just Zelda 24/7. Ah, part 4. Yes, yes. Sorry, I should have grabbed onto that a lot sooner. Yeah, can't escape. Can't escape. I mean, would I want to escape though? It's Zelda. It's a pretty cool franchise. I want to know what they're going to do next. I'd hope for a quick turnaround game, something in a different world. As I said, wouldn't mind if Link went to space. Also, I'd like another spin-off, something small to play. I'd also like them to port Wind Waker, but they show no inclination of doing that. I'm trying to work out, would I play TP on Switch if they released TP on Switch? I don't know. I would also like the Oracle games remade. That would be useful to me. Because as nice as they are that are on Switch Online, I just like the proper ones. Can I just play like the LA Link's Awakening Saga? Can anyone recommend the Link's Awakening remake? Is it worth paying for? Because I really want to play it, but I want to know if it's worth paying that much for. Maybe I'll make my one Zelda game based on using the ROM hacks for Link to the Past. Yeah, it's something we see is getting a little more common these days, isn't it? Probably the right time. We're not gonna have another big one for 6 years probably. So I say, I hope we get something smaller in the meantime to hold us over. We've got such a long wait ahead of us, especially if there's no DLC. But then again, it will be worth it in the end. But I wish that a Zelda game wasn't a twice in a decade, not even that now, once and a bit in a decade experience, which I'm sure we're better for, right? We're so starved for content that it makes the experience better. But at the same time, I would just love to see Zelda all the time. I'd love to see Lego Zelda too, but where is that, I wonder? Yeah, your own. I understood what you meant. Even if your keyboard's doing weird autocorrect. It's like I can't type in, I was researching for Tears of the Kingdom Shrine the other day. No, today, actually. But it puts in map automatically because it thinks I want a map of where to find them. I don't. I've already found them. I just want to know what one looks like. But it was like, nope, you want a map. And then it forced me to see a map. And I was like, nope. That was autofill, not autocorrect. But same problem. It knows what I want. But it doesn't because it was wrong. Right. The thing with these constructs is they're always a little awkward because I have how many more of them to do? I'll probably do the other constructs off stream because they're so similar now, meaning they'll be less interesting to watch. But if I was to do another one of these tomorrow, what would you guys like to see me work on? Would it be castle? Like the big castle? Would it be more figures? Would it actually be sets themselves? Or would it be something random? Something a little quirky. That's the other benefit of streams, of course. You catch them live, you can ask any questions you guys want, and I can give more rambly explanations than I can in YouTube comments as well. So, it's always good to see. And because it's still summer holidays most places. Castle is always cool, but do what you want. Yeah, Castle is cool, especially with it being the main focus of another game. It's great to have some motivation and new resources too. I would like to do more work on Castle. My Castle work is ahead of the updates by a little bit at this point. I would probably, yeah, I could consider doing some Castle tomorrow. I haven't worked on it in a while because I've been grinding the customs, but which makes me feel like I shouldn't be working on the castle because I'm supposed to be grinding customs. But I could take a break from customs to do some castle work. Might be fun. I'm in the last sections of the West Passage at the moment, meaning that I'm heading towards the very front. If anyone actually knows where that is. Still think that's my favourite location in all of Zelda, Breath of the Wild Hyrule Castle. But you're right, I can do what I want. I'm not tied to the funny computer. Yeah, castle sounds like a good time. Watch me completely change my mind tomorrow and decide to do the boss book opening instead. They all need to be done eventually. Eventually. Castle's probably the most behind. I'm looking forward to finally getting closer to that library as well. The library of the castle, that is. This is the ultimate goal. I'll know I've made it around that castle once I start getting areas like library and obviously the end goal, the finale, the sanctum. That'll be a day. And Octane puts the lid on the castle. I mean, reminiscing about something that hasn't happened yet. Okay, where are we with this guy? Oh, that arm took forever. Let's have an update. Okay, head, neck, and one arm done. We've still got a body and another arm to do. Ooh, lots of notifications. Just double check my emails. You know, when you go for a long time, you've got to be sure that you're not missing anything important. Nope, nothing important. Specific couple of emails I'm waiting on though. Something very exciting, potentially, maybe. something to do with precious Zelda and my customs. Maybe. Might not happen yet. Who knows? Would be nice if somebody responded though. Teasers. I'm good at making teasers. I'll leave that one out to the universe. Right, perfect. This hand is a very awkward shape. I don't think I've ever, have I used it? I don't think I've used this piece on a figure before. Oh no, I did. I used it on Burn from Spirit Tracks, at the very least. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever drawn this piece before, because I don't remember it being so obnoxious. But I definitely have, it's just a long time ago. Because certain pieces you just dread drawing because they're too detailed. Especially with buildable characters like this, because I tend not to draw buildable characters anymore unless they have to be drawn to make, well, to show them in their full glory, such as there's just too many prints on the constructs to bother printing them in studio. It's just easier to draw them. But for stuff like, and stuff like Muktarok had to be done here as well. So all of the Tears bosses, much to my reluctance, will be appearing. And they will all have drawn forms as well, which they don't need to have apart from Muktarok, but they're going to have, so what will be will be. The only thing that's left to do is building Varnaboris for the animation, right? I'm assuming that's not an idle threat telling me to build Varnaboris. Yeah, up until this point, animate a few days. I'm done with shooting. Fantastic. And then it's just editing and any VA. It's always exciting when a new animation gets finished up. Although, of course, editing takes a while. Exactly, yeah. Takes forever. I'm not a born filmmaker because editing does not excite me the way it does some people. Like, some people just love to edit and they're like, yeah, okay, I can get it done. And yeah, it's a chore sometimes, but most of the time they enjoy it. But I like to share, to build, and to plan. Everything else is a little bit foreign to me, or just not quite as enjoyable. But part of sharing means I enjoy talking, so that's one plus. I'll never claim that I'm entertaining to listen to, but I do like talking. Editing is a special thing. Yep, it takes a talent and a specific type of person to be able to edit for days and days on end. That's why we hire editors. Well, no, I don't, but I'm just saying that's why people do hire editors, because it sucks most of the time, or at least it does to other normal people. I wake up early, sit in my PC in late night, and then at 3 AM I'm uploading my phone. What today? What happened to the good work ethic? I know it's in a couple of days, but that's not a good work ethic. Above all else, I encourage you guys to be less like me and actually have a good work-life balance. Make friends, go outside, share your passions with the world, sure, but do it once you know you have friends at home. Kind of tradition to do editing in one day, yeah, a bad tradition, a tradition that's bad for you. As Uncle Octane says, health before the Lego. Lego before finances. A twisted message, but a message to be sure. Happens only a few times a year. Yeah, and so does it snow sometimes. Maybe. That was an awful sentence. Yeah, and as I said, Zelda game only comes out once a decade. That doesn't mean I wake up at midnight for it. I go at 9 AM and wake up stupidly early to go buy a physical release instead. As I said, kids, don't be like Octane. It's a life lesson to learn. Just because something's rare doesn't mean we go to be unhealthy for it. That being said, if I have to wake up the night before and do an all-nighter for the release of a Lego Zelda set, you know I will. As I promised, I will vlog it. It'll be a grand experience. I can't wait for the day that I can walk into a store and buy a deco tree. Or another set. Other sets too, please, Lego, not just a deco tree. Yeah, tradition is tradition. Well, in that case, then, I'll allow it. Well, editing doesn't have to get more and more complicated. It's just you choosing to make it more complicated to make it look better. Or what we assume is better because standards are changing. Like, what is this whole thing about putting every word you say on the screen? Anyway, you saying editing's getting more complicated with every episode you make, that's because you're getting better. Or at least upping the stakes of what you actually want to achieve with each episode. There's always, like, nothing's ever perfect. There's always a higher bar, right? So you're just making that bar something painful. I like how I get very close to being motivational and then just destroy it. Uncle Octane, everybody, Uncle Octane. I've definitely decided that I want hexane thermos setting plastic to be my alter ego. Like for April Fool's Day, or for like dodgy things. Not dodgy things, you know what I mean. Like spoof content that's related to fakes or something else, or just whenever I need something dodgy I want to use hexane thermoset. So I think it's funny that it's the inverse of me, and it's become associated with those fake Lepin sets now. So hexane thermoset, the Lepin designer, famous across the world for the Star King and Ego Nintendo sets. Stinkus's Blue Jet. If someone's watching that has no idea what I'm talking about, then they're going to be very confused. Very, very confused. It's also only occurred to me this week that I should be using hashtags on my videos. I've just ignored it for like 2 years. Probably a bad move. I'm not looking forward to creating a new sets of tags for the Lego Zelda sets. Like adding tags to videos is one of my least favorite things to do, and I can't wait to have to add Tears of the Kingdom specific ones every week for 9 weeks for the first half, and then 9 weeks again. Yeah. Perfect. And of course, let me know, guys. Obviously, it doesn't always thing. Let me know what you want to see in the custom set showcase, as always, or what you're hoping will become a custom set down in the comments or in the live chat, and I will see it and respond to it, even if it's after the video goes into passive mode. Still reply. Yeah, I can understand why doing anything with the Zora or Ruto would require a large amount of green screen work, even for an animation. Brick Wizard Studios. It just must be difficult to work with water. Right, almost there now. Just this last bit of hand. Add some print, add some colour. I think the stewards actually have less detail than the soldiers, or at least they're least complex, so it should be easier. And then I am very much ready to take a break, because I'm sat on a yoga ball, and it's not good for my posture, and I need to get on with the rest of everything in my life. Maybe... Yeah, the only reason Ruto episode... do you mean adult Ruto then? It's because you've used future tense. I'm just assuming you mean an episode that hasn't been filmed yet, Brick Wizard Studios. The Ruto episode will require, i.e. hasn't been done yet. I know you've done a Zora episode. Oh, and then you're saying that one didn't require lots. Okay, I get you, I get you. So they don't all do it. It just depends on what you're doing with the characters. I would argue again that maybe it's you coming forward and your animation improving. The fact that you need more now. You didn't think that you needed it back then. Maybe if you did it in the same mindset you did now and remade the Zora one, then maybe you would use more green screen. But then again, I don't know. I'm not you. Okay. Let's finish up the last little bits around the hand. See, that's the beautiful thing with brickbook characters like this. You will have noticed I am only doing things roughly because it will be seen from such a distance that it doesn't exactly matter, because these are very small lines on a much larger canvas. And just like that, you never even knew. Perfect, let's bring in the reference material. Here he is. Ah, flying. Oh, Rito. It's come out as Ruto in the chat, meaning I thought you were talking about Ruto the Zora from OT. I know we're in Breath of the Wild, but I thought crossover. Oh no, I'm dumb. Rito flying, yep, that makes a lot more sense. I got there in the end. Okay, let's look at this big idiot. Oh, that's mean. I like him. Let's go for the head first, as usual. How many lines is it? Is it 3? Whoa, see, look, there it is again. The eye shape, three lines. Next one is about Yiga. Yes, we have a certain Master Koga that needs addressing in the custom sets as well. Let's do the let's just draw that first. And then the curve. We can draw the inner eye. Like so. You can tell when I focus because my commentary just falls down a cliff. There we go. And then we can draw the inner parts of the eye. Yay! So good at this. Complimenting myself to attempt to make this easier. Which one is... That's probably going to be better, yeah. And then we can fill that in quickly. Then that interior one will be black. Then we've got to use our 2 different greens. So sand green's our main colour, but there's another one we're going to use as a backup. There's no more printing that's really needed on the face, at least not urgently. The shaping does most of the work. We do need to add the symbol here on the chest, along with the 2 bands across the top. So we can do the bands nice and quick, like so. Just got to make sure they're actually joined up, or else we're going to have problems later. See, with a lot of this, it's brick built, so it's harder to include details. So we just do the best we can, the best representation. Good, and that's surrounded by a hexagon. And we come out like that, in like that, out like that, in like that. Then we do include an inner circle. And then the broom. Or bell shape, I should say. It's like a curve on the top, down into the handle. I've just been completely ignoring the chat. Oh dear. What did I miss? Nothing much, am I, man? We're coming, well, somewhat towards the end. I'm just finishing up the details on the construct. We're doing steward construct at the moment. You would have missed the end of the glide suit. So, a I'll tell you what, let me zoom out. So this is what we've been working on right now. Let's just hide those for a second and bring that for a second. So this was the first figure we worked on. Much slower than may have been expected. But we did get it done. He's finished. I'm happy with him. Of course, let me know what you thought, of course. And then we're going to go back to our construct friend here. He's almost also ready for colouring too. I don't think there's many details I'm going to add to this, to be honest. Maybe these teeth shape. Because it's so brick built, I think we're just going to do it like this. And bring it down. There we go. Just the basis of those structures. Okay, colouring time, I think, because everything else should be brick built, or I can't print on it because it's weird. I mean, I could add a print to this, but it just seems wasteful, and Lego wouldn't do that. So let's leave it as it is. Let's start with dark orange. One of the coolest Lego colours, in my opinion. Now, I haven't set up the rules for this new part yet, because I don't know how I want to use it. However, one thing that definitely needs dark orange, that is not dark orange. That's closer. Yeah, good. And that centre bit also needs to be black. Let's just bring a friend in. I'm going to pipette that instead. Just so that the colour can match our other friends. Good. We are, in fact, going to add a little bit of printing to the outside here, too. I can't see it behind that one. Good. So the rest should just be other colours. So let's start with the yellow on the bell symbol. That's the only yellow on him. Then let's go to the white for the eggs, I think. How many more eggs is it? It's just this one here. And there's also white down here, isn't there, on the two teeth. And then we'll have to judge whether, yeah, I think we want white here on the side too, down there. Let's bring in our model reference now as well, because this will help us to line up what we're working on. So we do also need to bring in previous little friend, because I need to color match the sand green. Just like that. And then we'll hide him again. Bring him back and just give this a quick color over. I also, while I'm remembering, want to grab the dark turquoise too from our other friend. I keep calling them friends, but just the other constructs. I just need this color so I can match them. You won't chat much because you're eating. Don't worry, I won't talk much because I am tiring. Not in a bad way, obviously in a good way. Had a lot of fun. No! I deleted the color match. Oh. But because we're getting closer towards finishing up. Oh, that's Raru. Oh, just jump scare Raru. Hello. There's Raru. He's here. Nope, wrong colour. That colour. Right, now that I've got my act together, I don't click on the pet again. And now I get to add the right colour to the right spot. Let's just do all of the turquoise. It works a little bit like when I do models like this. Usually I like to use, as you saw with the glide suit, I use multiple colours to help distinguish between parts so I can draw lines easier. But on models like this, where distinguishing between the parts isn't the big priority, it's more about like the colours and the prints, I use the realistic colours, or like the colours I actually want to be used, and then I use it like a paint by numbers. That way I've done the hardest part already, and I don't have to worry about a thing. There we go. Now I can go back to using fill. There's one tool I always forget to use on Studio. is the paintbrush filler tool. Don't know why, just do. So my sand green's a little darker. That's okay. Oh, some more of the nice transparency blue. What does that look like to me? More sand green, I think. Probably it's not, but we're going to go with it. Then let's go back to adding turquoise. This is probably too bright again for turquoise, but whatever, will be, will be. Let's just keep going. Okay. So I chose to make this part side on the ride. Flag is showing. The flag, as I worked out, is an island, Marshall Islands. I know, in Oceania, Brick Wizard Studios. Thank you for showing an interest in our fellow chat members. Marshall Islands off the Pacific. See, I totally knew this from scratch and didn't have to be told earlier. My geography is impeccable. Once again, showing my absolute amazing skill when it comes to just random general knowledge. Totally uninformed. Seychelles, yeah, I've heard of the Seychelles. But different place. Same kind of area though, right? Obviously not necessarily close by, but just similar-ish area. If I say similar half of the globe, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I still might be wrong though. Really like geography. I was always more history over geography, but I do like geography too. Just as I know that some of you also just like history, despite liking geography too. Weird how that works, he says sarcastically. Okay. We're in that nice last stage now where things go super quickly. As we start to finish up. It looks weird just being left right. You know all the countries' capitals and flags. That's very impressive. You are definitely a flag nerd. Then again, nothing wrong with being a nerd. It is a compliment as far as I'm concerned. We had a great comment on the channel the other day, just someone going, it's scary how deep some people get into their hobbies sometimes, and I'm like, yep. I think it's really cool. I fully admit that I am a nerd though. Okay, I've got to be careful here, haven't I? Because I need to remember to colour in these other bits dark grey. Just a colouring exercise, really, isn't it? Glorified colouring with octane. Colouring with octane! That should be the new name of this live series. This is not enough. The wrong colour. History is far above geography. I would agree. What do you mean I have that friend too? That says it's scary how deep some people get into their hobbies, I assume is what I was talking about. That's a little better. I am... I'm happy with that. I was able to name every main battle of World War II when I was 7. Wow, yeah, history is definitely superior for you, isn't it? That's cool. I think so. Think I'm happy with that. Final thoughts? That looks good. That's great. You use big respect. Yeah, to the flags. Fantastic. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's not bad for... Why is that blurry? Is that just my computer or is it over something? What is going on with you? Yeah, I'm happy with those. Not perfect, but good enough. Yeah, I don't find that any of us are particularly hugely popular in middle school. Maybe Brick Wizard could put it wrong, but there is definitely something blurry going on there. I don't know why. Just make a massive thing and... Oh yeah, there was something there. That's weird. Don't know what that was though. Wonder, is it on my other one? Let's bring that back down here. So I'm just fiddling with my layers. Let's merge that. Turn them off. Is that over here? It is invisible. What do you mean layer is invisible? Be very careful. I don't see a blur on this one though, so let's trust that it's all okay. Let's bring that back up. I was a little popular. I had popular friends that always played soccer with the cool skins. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. That's 2 figures done towards wave 4. Plenty of time spent on them. 2 good figures. He can join the construct lineup and Glide Link can join his set, which I have not revealed. Tomorrow I may do another one, similar-ish time, maybe not, and it will probably be based around either the castle or more figures, I imagine. I don't want to spoil too many of the actual builds for the Tears of the Kingdom wave, but I might have some fun with the large-scale castle, and you can watch me scream at Rockwork. Or I can do the boss bokoblin potentially too, but I'm probably leaning towards castle, depending on it, as long as I feel confident that I'll finish Tears of the Kingdom Customs on time. For the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom Wave 8, small video, will be dropping Friday after next. This Friday is a LEGO video. I'll tell you if you make a channel on the Discord server. Thank you, MI Man. I look forward to seeing anyone that wants to come in again. If not, it's good and productive for me. Thank you all for watching and joining. I will see you in the next video or tomorrow. Take care.